Hi, Ryan Murphy here from Guitar Lessons with Ryan, and today we have an awesome song called Hooked on a Feeling, so let's zoom on in for a close-up and get started. Alright, before we begin, I just want to note that this song will use the capo on the first fret. Now, starting with the first chord, it's the G chord. Now I use the 4-finger variation to make it easier to switch from the G to the D chord. So the third finger stays down between those two chords. Alright, so the G chord is 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the 6th string, 1st finger, 2nd fret of the 5th string, open on the 4th, open on the 3rd, 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and 4th finger, 3rd fret on the 1st string. Next we have a D chord. This is going to be open on the 4th, 1st finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And as I said, you can leave that 3rd finger down when you're switching between. Makes it a little bit easier to do. Alright, the next chord after that is the G7 chord. This one is 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the 6th string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 5th string, open on the 4th, open on 3rd, open on the 2nd, and 1st finger, 1st fret on the 1st string. Now from there we're going to the C chord. From the G7 to the C, basically all you do is move the 3rd and 2nd fingers down 1 string each, move the 1st finger up 1 string, and there you have a C chord strumming from the 5th string down. After that we have the C minor chord. Alright, for this one I use the 1st finger bar across the 3rd fret, and then the 3rd finger would take up the 5th fret of the 4th string, pinky, or the 4th finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and the 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string. Next chord is a D7 chord. This is going to be open on the 4th, 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the 3rd, 1st finger, 1st fret on the 2nd string, and finally 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the 1st string. D7. Next is going to be a B7 chord. So take that D7 form and move it up 2 strings for each finger. So now we have the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open on the 2nd string, and 4th finger is on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Next chord is going to be an E minor chord. Take all the fingers off from the B7 except for the 2nd finger, and then all you do is you add the 3rd finger to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, strum all 6 strings. And finally we have a B minor chord. Now if you remember the C minor, all we do is take that chord form, move it down 1 fret, and there's your B minor. Alright, now we're going to move on to the strumming pattern. Now, the basic strumming pattern is down, up, miss, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Like so. Alright, so usually when I play that strumming pattern, I add a muted strum to beats 2 and sometimes on 4 as well. Now I'm going to show you how it sounds on beat 2 with a muted strum, and for those who don't know, basically you take your right hand palm, touch it against the strings as you strike the strings. So it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 sometimes I add a muted strum on beat 4 like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 note when I switch between chords, a lot of times I'm switching on the and to 4, so that final up strum before the next chord, you can take the fingers off and switch your chord like so. Alright, now we're going to go over the song structure. Now this starts with the introduction part. That's the ooga chaka ooga ooga. And we're going to sing that 4 times without any chords. Now during the first verse, we're going to, basically it's going to be a cappella, so no chords underneath the vocals. However, if you want to just strum and play at home, you can add the chords like so. So we're going to start on a G chord. I can't stop this feeling, D chord, to a G7, deep inside of me, C chord. Then we're going to go to the C minor. Girl, you just don't realize, G, what you do to me, D, and then to a D7. When you hold me, G, in your arms so tight, B7. You let me know, E minor, everything's alright. And now we're going to go to the chorus part. We're going to play a C chord. I'm hooked on a feeling. And this is where we'd start the strumming pattern that I described earlier. So it'll be, I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love. Now right here, we're going to do 2 strums for each chord. And the D chord, we're going to do 4 strums, like so. Love with me. 1, 2. Alright, so just so you know, the G, B minor, C, D, those are over 2 measures, 2 strums each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last 2 strums on the D are a 2/4 bar. So there's only 2 beats in that measure, like this. 1, 2. And for that, I just use a palm mute after each D, like so. Alright, now before we continue, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know if there's any songs that you would like me to cover in a future lesson. Now we're going to move on to the next verse, and I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker, and we're going to use the same strum pattern as before, same exact chords as the first verse. Lips as sweet as candy, D. G7, taste is on my mind, C. C minor, girl, you got me, G. For another D, cup of wine, D7. G, from you, girl, D. G7, I don't need no girl, C. C minor, stay a victim, G. D7, all the good love, G, when we're all alone, D7, E minor, yeah, you turn me on, G7, C, Then you go to a D. I'm hooked on a feeling. Alright, so from there, it's going to be the next chorus part. I'm hooked on a feeling to a G, D, I'm high on believing, C, back to D, that's your in. And then we have the 2 beats for each chord, G, D minor, C, D, and then D, D. Extra 2 strums on the D. Alright, next we're going to go to the interlude part. This is going to be a G chord, D, G7, C minor, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next verse. This is an a cappella verse as well with the ooga chakas in the background. However, I'm going to give you the underlying chords for this as well. It's going to be a G chord, all the good love, G, 2, 3. When we're all alone, E7, 2, 3. Keep it up, girl, E minor, 2, 3, 4. And G7, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the next chorus. I'm hooked on a feeling, D, I'm high on believing, C, back to D, and then G, D minor, C, I'm hooked on a feeling. Now instead of doing the extra 2 strums on the D for that one, we're going to just repeat the chorus part again. Alright, so that goes like so. I'm hooked on a feeling, G, D, I'm high on believing, C, D, you're in love with me. I said I'm hooked on a feeling, G, D, I'm high on believing, C, D, you're in love with me. Now the cool thing about this is you can end on a G chord. However, in the studio track, they do a repeat and fade. So either one will work for this song. Alright, now that's all there is to it for this song. And don't forget to head over to my Patreon where you'll find an exclusive song sheet PDF that you can print out and use to practice along with at home. In addition to that, you'll have access to all the other songs I teach on YouTube, as well as the ability to vote on which songs I teach next. Alright, thanks so much for stopping by, have fun, and I'll see you next time.